This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Hi friends, aliens are cool, right? No, they aren't! And if you said yes, neither are you, heretic. That's right, today we're getting xenophobic. Even more so than the standard 40k xenophobia, because today we're talking about everyone's favorite black armor clad space marines. Are you kidding me? I obviously wasn't talking about them. No, I'm talking about the Xenos Hunters of the Imperium, the Deathwatch. The Deathwatch are the Chamber Militant of the Ordo Xenos branch of the Inquisition, and they were technically made during the tail end of the War of the Beast, but officially founded after the war. The idea of the Deathwatch was born when Lord Commander Courland, also known as Slaughter, also known as the dude with the dumbest but also coolest nickname in the Imperium, required elite kill teams to combat the Beast and complete key objectives. Unfortunately for Mr. Slaughter, most of his forces were, ironically, slaughtered by the humongoid orc Wah, and no marines less than a veteran would be able to carry out his vital orders. So what's a guy to do when he doesn't have enough marines to finish his 2,000 point list? Well, steal some of his friends' marines, of course. Courland assembled his kill teams from various veterans of the shredded chapters under his command, and for their inaugural mission, he eased them into their new role by sending them on a relatively easy mission. These kill teams were sent to take out an attack moon. I don't think I even need to explain what an attack moon is for you to realize how crazy it is to send a few marine squads to take one down. But I will. An attack moon is a gigantic orc ship that, as its name suggests, attacks and is shaped like a moon. Due to a little thing called physics, an attack moon's gargantuan size means that it can cause major damage to planets just by teleporting close to them and letting gravity all over the place. That's no moon. It's an attack moon. Once the war was over, the Ordo Xenos was officially established alongside the Deathwatch, since the Beast Wah showed the High Lords that aliens were in fact a threat and not just some stupid morons to shoot at while the Marines waited for some Chaos guys to kill. The new Space Marine chapter was called the Deathwatch, since they were meant to monitor the Imperium's death by the hands of Xenos that the Imperial Lords had foretold of, which honestly is a lot cooler than being called Deathwatch because, watch me cause death, brother Killgun. With the new Inquisitorial Order established, it was decided that the Deathwatch would be an Inquisitorial force, but it would be led by a Space Marine chapter master so that they would still retain a bit of autonomy even while under the Inquisition. Also, small aside, the first chapter master, or watch commander as the Deathwatch would call in order to stay on brand, was a dude called Asgar Warfist. What a name! He might just take Courland's title for dumbest, but also coolest name with that one. But anyways, let's talk about the real reason the Deathwatch was founded. It was made because it's freaking cool, bro. Black armor is cool, having a bunch of Space Marine chapters squad up to kill aliens is cool, stealing said aliens' weapons and using them to kill even more aliens is cool. Even their name is freaking cool. The Deathwatch? Come on, man. You can't tell me that having a kill team with a vampire, a werewolf, and an emo isn't cool. Wait, that's just Twilight, damn it! Luckily though, that kill team had a shark to make it less Twilighty. Speaking of sharks, today's video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Much like an orc attack moon, the internet can be a scary place. Luckily, a good VPN like Surfshark can act as your Mark 8 errant armor when surfing the web on public Wi-Fi. Surfshark encrypts your online data, secure your information when on public networks. In addition, it masks your IP address and it doesn't keep logs so that your location and download history isn't connected to your identity. That last one may be important to some of you Eldar fans. I know what you people download. In addition to the online security stuff, another cool thing I really like about VPNs is how they let me change my virtual location. Much like a Space Marine veteran moving to the Deathwatch, I can move my virtual self into one of their over 3,200 servers for 100 countries. By doing so, I can watch shows or movies that might be blocked in my country. Thanks to Surfshark, I don't need to pay for a Hulu subscription to watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and that's a huge win for me since I love It's Always Sunny and I hate paying for multiple streaming subscriptions. All you have to do is connect to a server in a country that has the thing you want to watch, and zip zop zooey, you're laughing. Surfshark is super fast, super secure, blocks ads, and lets you change location on the fly. Plus, they have a 30-day money-back guarantee, which is a huge plus for me when trying out new services. If that sounds cool to you, be sure to check out my link in the description and use code CRACKDUCK for an extra 4 months free on your subscription. Huge thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. But yeah, the Deathwatch defining trait, their 1 minute elevator pitch, is that they're the Spec Ops dudes made up of a bunch of different Space Marine chapters. Almost every chapter is ready to send veterans to serve in the Deathwatch if the need arises. Only one has ever been said to have refused sending Marines to the Deathwatch, and they were eternally shamed for it. By drawing from a diverse range of Space Marines, the Deathwatch is more tactically flexible due to the unique skill sets of the various chapters and is able to learn from the Marines' experiences fighting different Xenos species. Depending on the chapter, service in the Deathwatch can be a great honor, a punishment, or just a convenient way to get rid of Marines that the chapter just doesn't really like. But no matter the reason, the Marines that are sent to the Deathwatch are usually some of the best killers in the chapter, if not the best killers in the chapter. The Deathwatch regularly carries out near suicidal, ultra important missions, and as such, they mostly recruit veteran Marines. And the ones who aren't veterans are just particularly talented in the art of shooting an alien's head off with a cool explodey gun. To be selected to be sent to the Deathwatch, a Marine needs heart, body, and soul. As such, they're usually appraised by a captain for their skill in battle, an apothecary for their physical fitness, and a chaplain for the strength of character and if they have a soul fit for blasting aliens. When recruited to the Deathwatch, the Marine paints their armor all black except for the right pauldron and left arm. The right pauldron is left in their original chapter colors so that the armor's machine spirit isn't disturbed. Stupid racist machine spirit. Except, I guess that joke doesn't really work since the machine spirit actually gives the Deathwatch its color diversity, so. I don't know, dude. I'm sorry. It was a bad joke, guys. Berate me in the comments, if you will. But in addition to their colorful pauldron, they also have their iconic silver arm, just like Keanu Reeves and Sebastian Stan. And just like Mr. Silverhand, the Deathwatch Marines use specialty rounds for their hand cannons, and just like the Winter Soldier, they're mega indoctrinated super soldiers. Let's address that last part first. When joining the Deathwatch, the Marines are given extra hypno-indoctrination on top of the standard indoctrination given when first becoming a Marine. They're taught to be even more blindly devoted to the Emperor, to be even more xenophobic, and the knowledge of how to dispatch all known xenospecies with efficiency is implanted directly into their brains. It's kind of like the Matrix scenes, except instead of Kung Fu, they're taught Xeno F you. But finally, last and most fun of the recruitment process, each Deathwatch member has special training sessions, and these fun little activities consist of being put into a tiny cell called a penance box, getting a cute little psycho stim hat, and then being forced to witness their brothers being brutally killed by a variety of Xeno species. And this isn't just them watching it, mind you. The box and hat make it so that the Marine experiences the things firsthand and they feel the pain and sensation of their fallen brothers at the time of their death. It's kind of like a souped up 4D SpongeBob ride. You see the events, you feel the motions, you smell the smells, it's the whole package. So they could feel the rending claws of a gene stealer tearing them apart, feel their molecules being shredded by a Necron's Gauss blaster, feel the burning sensation of being melted by hails of Tau plasma, or whatever horrible fate may befall a noble warrior of the Emperor. On the bright side, the Watch Council does make sure that the Marines don't see any footage of their own chapter being killed, unless that Marine's being punished or something, since watching their own chapter being slaughtered, oh, that would just be too torturous for the torture indoctrination. As if seeing your friends getting killed wearing a different color would really make the experience any more fun. And unsurprisingly, these sessions are hated. But they do teach the Marines to abhor the alien, and it instills them with a murderous fury that they can unleash when the time calls. It should be noted here that even though the Deathwatch is taught to hate the Xenos more than GW writers apparently do, the Deathwatch isn't always just insta-kill on sight to any alien they see. Depending on the occasion, the Deathwatch may spare the more reasonable Xenos like Tau or Eldar in order to further their study or to steal their tech for themselves, which leads to our next point and probably my second favorite aspect of the chapter. The Deathwatch are generally allowed to employ any means necessary to fulfill their objectives. As such, their arsenal is vast and a lot less restrictive than other Imperial forces. A few restrictions that they spit in the face of is not using Xenos tech and not being able to make any technological innovations. Along with killing the Xenos, the Deathwatch are also commonly tasked with recovering Xenos artifacts and weapons in order to study the enemy, and sometimes they get to keep these cool toys for themselves. The mechanics often modifying or reverse engineering such things to fit Imperial use. Some notable things they've been said to use are modified Tau guns, Necron phase blades, and Eldar skulls for servo skulls. They also usually give them silly names to half-heartedly cover their Xenos origin. Things like Eastern Fringe Artillery and Xenos Phase Blade. No, 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 it's not called a Xenos Phase Blade because it's from a Xenos, you moron! It's because I phased it through the Xenos to kill them! On the less heretical side of the armory, the Deathwatch have ready access to special bolter patterns with unique bolt rounds like Dragonfire, Hellfire, Kraken, Vengeance, and many more. Those first two not actually being incendiary rounds, despite what their name suggests. Infernos are the proper incendiary rounds. Dragonfires actually release superheated gas, and Hellfire shoot thousands of acid covered needles into whatever unfortunate idiot let themselves get shot. They're actually called Hellfire because you fire them out of a gun and you say, "What the hell?" when you hear how horrible it sounds to get a million needles explode into your tummy. And then there's like a million other bolt rounds that I won't get into in this video, but one I do think are cool are Bane bolts. These are bolts made after Archmagister Erexia spent her entire life developing them, and they're said to be the perfect bolt chill, and if they're shot at center mass, they can kill any target. Some other cool weapons they have are shotguns with special shells, which should be self-explanatory, frag cannons, which should be self-explanatory, and Infernus heavy bolters, which should be self-explanatory, but if that last one isn't, they are literally heavy bolters with heavy flamers taped underneath. It's heavy Inception. But it's not just their guns either. Their armor can also be modified to have enhancements. One particularly cool one being active camouflage. So, much like a Halo Elite or a real life cuttlefish, some Deathwatch operatives can change their armor color to blend in with their surroundings. This, in addition to sound suppressors in their armor, makes them excel in stealth. And finally, they have a special gunship just for them called the Corvus Blackstar, which, that's like the coolest name ever, come on. Next, let's quickly go over their tactics. Unlike most chapters, the Watch deploys almost exclusively kill teams made up of all specialists and are usually commanded by an Inquisitor. Each kill team is specifically made up of operatives that would best suit the mission. For example, if you need to destroy a Tyranid horde, you might bring a Blood Angel for their melee specialty and experience with Tyranids, a Salamander to lay covering fire and burn swaths of bugs, and perhaps a White Scar to match the Nid speed and hack them down. Or you can make a team of an Iron Hand, Imperial Fist, and Ultramarine to put the enemy to sleep and bore them to death. I'm just kidding. I actually like the Ultramarines and Imperial Fist. They're pretty cool. And finally, let's go over some of their unique and cool operatives. Sometimes when a mission doesn't require an entire kill team or it requires a more stealthy approach, the Deathwatch can send a kill marine. These marines act as lone operatives and can go on long missions to infiltrate and investigate potential threats or targets. Wait, they're kill marines because they're just one marine and not a team. This might win the award for the dumbest but also coolest name. Next up are the Black Shields, and they're probably the most popular special operas of the Deathwatch since they're pretty cool. Black Shields originated during the Horus Heresy since during the Heresy some Marines would just leave their chapter and work alone. Most commonly this happened because the Marines Legion would turn traitor or they rejected the path that their Primarch took. But it could also be as simple as a Marine just being so tired of the heresy that they decide to leave their chapter and do their own thing. In present times, Black Shields most commonly work alongside the Deathwatch as they no longer associate with their home chapter. Generally, becoming a Black Shield is seen as one of the most dishonorable things a Marine can do as they betray their chapter and they sever all ties. As such, other Marines treat Black Shields as ill omens and they're usually not ever accepted back into their home chapter. However, Deathwatch is willing to accept any Marine who's skilled enough to kill some aliens, so they're open to taking in Black Shields. In battle, Black Shields are noted as being unusually reckless and sacrificial, likely due to the shame of being shunned from their chapter, disillusionment with their original chapter, or simply just to fit the lone wolf archetype and get a cool death scene. One notable Black Shield is former Ultramarine Captain Demetrian Titus. After being tried for heresy by the Inquisition and eventually being deemed free of taint, he was inducted into the Deathwatch, where he served as a Black Shield since he believed himself to be a disgrace to his chapter. However, in a rare exception, he was welcomed back into his original chapter when Chief Librarian Tigerius found him on a mission. So that's the Deathwatch. They're really cool and definitely my top 5 favorite chapters. I like the Supa chapters, I like the Spec Op feel, and I like their use of cool ass, super illegal weaponry. Sure, they're kind of in a making the stupidest decision ever competition with the Grey Knights, but who really cares when they look this damn cool? Also, I'm super hyped to play as a Deathwatch Titus in Space Marine 2, so that's another big reason I made this video. But yeah, how can you not like Spec Op Marines in all black armor who use alien guns to kill aliens? Thank you everyone for watching this video. Let me know what your favorite Deathwatch moments are, or what Space Marine chapters you want me to cover next. Well, the next one's going to be Ultramarines for the Space Marine 2 game, but after that. And thank you to all the Patreons who support the channel and help me make my videos better. I really appreciate the support. And thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Remember to check out my link in the description and use my code for an extra 4 months free. And as always, please like, comment, subscribe, and consider sharing to all your Spec Op xenophobic buddies. Thanks. It's unbelievable to me that a game called Kill Team doesn't have a bespoke Deathwatch team, yet it has twice as many Votann teams as there are Votann novels.